Okay, doing a quick video post. I wish I had have done this yesterday when I came home from the hairdresser. I actually had my hair cut and blow dried straight. And I only bring it up because I want to take it out. It was a beautiful, God, it was a beautiful haircut. I had it done in Rose Bay and it looked great. My hair is naturally wavy. I've actually got some mousse in it at the moment, so that it doesn't help it. So I actually had it. It was blow dried beautifully. Looked fantastic. I had some shape put back into it because I've been growing it. I had it all cut off short. So back in 2021, I had it all cut off short. So it was like it was about right up here actually. And then I was like, I didn't really like the haircut, so I actually grew it all out and grew it long, and it was just this sort of one sort of. Now I've got all these great texture into the hair. So a lot of some texturizing and layering and so forth. Feels great. Should have had a video done yesterday when it was all blow dried out, so it wasn't frizzy. So my hair, it's funny because I bring this up, and I've brought this up a lot in the last 8 years because people are not honest. I'm going to say this. If you come at somebody with information, then tell that person where the information came from. Because I've been saying for 8 years, the information hasn't come from me. So tell me. Because I know I was wrongly identified, and then people have set over some weird bullshit stories and so forth. None of it's true. Then my mother tried to make up stuff about the hair being fake and all this other crap. These people are just troublemaking people that are just causing weird... There's some weird trouble that's been going on for some time, and it doesn't actually match the facts. And I'll just be upfront and honest and say, well, it doesn't come from me, so why should I be paying for it? Like, these are just troublemaking people that it should not have been listened to. And there's issues because I straightened my hair for my green card photo, who cares? I had it straightened. I had it chemically straightened in November 2012 as well for Laurie and Christy's wedding. I went to You Hair and Beauty, which used to be on, I don't know if it's still there or not, was down the road from where I lived on Cleveland Street in Surrey Hills, and I saw Franca, and I said, because my hair's frizzy, I want the frizziness taken out of it. She said, look, the best way is straighten it. Because so Franca knows my hair. She knows I have frizzy, naturally frizzy hair. Because Franca's one of my longest hairdressers. She no longer works there. She sold the business, but Franca used to own You Hair and Beauty on Cleveland Street in Surrey Hills, and she knows my hair well, and she said, look, I've got this product, we'll straighten your hair. So I actually had it dead straightened, chemically straightened. And I don't see what the problem is, considering most of my life I've straightened my hair. Now, if people have come to me, or if people have heard information from family members, I'm going to be really honest to everybody and say, I've said this, and I've said it as a joke in the past where I've said, my family don't really know anything about me. They've had nothing really to do with me since I was a kid. That's the truth. There's a lot of women in my family with a lot of issues, and a lot of issues towards men and the way they neglect men, which is why I've got an attitude which I say no male children should be ever left in custody of their mother. And that is just because of my upbringing. It's to do with neglect. The women in my family have issues. And I believe men should be raised by their fathers, because my father's a beautiful man. My father was a very soft, gentle, nurturing man who didn't neglect his children. My mother was somebody that just took the money from her husband and neglected her children. So my mother I would have barely noticed anything going on, or even noticed me growing up, since a little kid. So, but, and my family don't. Unless they can make money from something, they're not going to be there. That's the God's honest truth. Unless my family, my mother's side more, I'm talking about here, so not my dad's side. Unless my family can make money from it, they're not going to be there. And that's just a blatant fact of what type of women we're dealing with on my mother's side of the family. That's just how they are. Very different to people on my father's side of the family. And the women on my dad's side. That's just a fact. So I am not close to my mother's family, and I don't want to be close to them. I'm 44 years of age. I've never been close to them. The only ones I was close to on my mother's side was my grandparents, Reggie and Lola, my great-grandmother, Mary, and her brother, which we call Uncle Fred, but his name's Leo Patrick Sayer. That's the reason why I call him Uncle Fred. but I don't need to get into this here. So that's who I was close to. I don't particularly want some meddling, troublemaking behaviour into my life. So let's just put that aside and go back to my hair. Now, if you look at, so it's not unusual to have like, you know, your toddler hair. So I say, like, when I've had people come up to me in the last 8 years and make up stories where, well, they go, oh, you don't look like that, but it's like, you mean I don't look like, so I'm in my 40s. You mean I don't look like the way I did when I was 2? Do I have to spell that out to you? Apparently I have to spell this out to people. How come I look so different right now that I'm in my 40s, so I'm 44, and I don't look like I did 42 years ago as a 2-year-old? This is what I'm dealing with. This is the bullshit that I've had to deal with people in the last 8 years, where I'm sorry, but I'm a normal person. I can shake my head and walk away and think, you're a fucking idiot. I don't look the way I did 10 years ago, because life changes and you grow on and you get older and your body changes and your shape changes and your hair changes. I've got grey now in my beard. My hair is naturally near black. That's my natural colour. Although, like I've always said, it does bleach a little bit, like go lighter and that from sun and salt water. My hair is naturally near black. My hair was blacker when I was younger. That's given because you're younger. As you get older, your hair loses the colour and so forth. So I don't look the way I do when I was 2 or 4 or 10 years of age. And I have to spell this out to people. Apparently, I have to hand feed these people as a 44-year-old man and explain to them why I no longer look like I did when I was 10 years of age or 2 years of age. Apparently, that's an issue. Doesn't make any sense to me to even have to acknowledge those idiot people. So, as a 2-year-old with toddler hair, I had blondish hair. Blondish, straight, toddler hair. Much like what my sister on my dad's side, Sky Sheridan Fleming, had. You can see Sky in a photo with my dad on his 40th birthday and Sky on her first birthday, because Sky was born when my dad was 39 and they're about 1 day apart. So they had a birthday together, Dad's 40th and Sky's first. Okay, Dad's holding Sky. Sky has dead straight blonde hair. Of course, once she lost that baby hair, she grew up and she adapted a lot of the Fleming side of the family, my dad's side of the family's features. So the eyebrows, the hair. Sky has the thick hair. I don't. So my younger sister, she grew up and had so Fleming side of the family have very thick hair. Wavy hair, frizzy hair, untamable hair, curly hair. They have thick hair. A natural trait to my dad's side of the family is one thick eyebrow, thick hair, wavy hair, frizzy hair. That's what they have. My dad's father had thick, untamable black hair to the day he died. That's my dad's side. My mother's second husband's side of the family, this is what I keep telling people. It seems that in the last 8 years, Carol's telling a lot of bullshit that relates to her second husband. I'm not related to Carol's second husband, okay? I'm not related to my mother's second husband, so why do people expect me to look like that? My mother's second husband's family were bald. They were light reddish brown hair. So that's the Rackleys. So my mother's first husband is Mark Fleming. My mother's second husband is Mark Rackley. They are two different people. I'm going to look like a Fleming because I am a Fleming. The other side that are related to the Rackleys are going to look like a Rackley because they are a Rackley. My stepbrother has dirty reddish brown hair like his father did. He's probably bald like his father because my mother's second husband went bald very young. His father was bald. They're short, fat, little roly-poly, bald people. You know, that's my mother's second husband's family. So I don't understand how I even get dragged into this. I've had people go, oh no, I know his father. His father was a nurse and he was short, he was fat, and he was bald. And I turn around and say, who you're describing is my mother's ex-second husband. I'm no relation. Stop doing this. And that's New South Wales Police. I'm not related to my mother's second husband's family. Okay, my father is my mother's first husband. I look like my mother's first husband's family because that's a given. I share DNA with them. I'm related. I do not look like my mother's family. I never have. But when you see me with my dad's side of my actual father's side of the family, that's who I look like. That is not something that's unusual. Nor is it the fact that when I was 2 years of age, I had blondish straight hair, and as I grew up and lost my baby hair, because let me tell people that seem to find it unusual that as a 44-year-old man, I don't look like a 2-year-old. You lose that hair just as you lose your baby teeth, and you grow up and you develop and your body changes and you go through puberty, and where you didn't have hair, you have hair. And for myself, as I grew up, my hair went darker, it went black. I had black hair before I was 9 years of age. I had frizzy hair that I used to straighten. Exactly like it is now, that is my natural hair. That is how my hair naturally is without me straightening it. It has always been that way. No one probably would have seen that like that at school, because I would get up in the morning. If I didn't have a shower, wash my face, wet my hair. I actually used to put conditioner in a spray bottle. I still do the same things today. So I get a conditioner, I fill it up with some water in a spray bottle, shake it around, spraying the conditioner in my hair, brush it down straight. Used to put baby oil, now I put better quality products. But as a kid growing up, going to primary school and going to high school, I used to put baby oil, Brylcreem, hair gel, hairspray. And my hair was plastered down. So plastered down that you wouldn't even be able to see that I had long hair. So as you can see here, if you're looking at me front on there, you can't see if my hair is long, if it's short or anything. That's how it was. But my hair was always long. So you can't see this. My hair was plastered down. It didn't move. Okay? Since I have a shower, I come out of the shower, my hair is like a massive big buff. Another reason why I probably get called buff hair, but my grandparents used to say it looks like a bird's nest. Run a comb through it. As soon as I got out of the shower, because washing all the product out, there's my natural hair, and it has never been any different since I grew up from being a toddler. However, this has been made a massive big issue in the last 8 years because somebody's making up some bullshit stories and they're trying to scam something. Now, I look like a Fleming. My contour, my face, the dip here, my nose, everything about me is the same features of family members on my father's side of the family. Everything. There is not much that relates to my mother's side in the way I look at all. My forehead, everything. Everything to do with me, to do with my hair, to do with my complexion. That's why I look completely different from my twin sister. We are not identical twins. My twin sister looks exactly like my mother's side in every mannerism, in every way. And I have pretty much, I would say, even though they reckon it's 50-50, I look at it and go, I've got 90% my father's side. The only thing I actually even got the feet, of my father's side. I don't have much of my mother's side at all, except for the thin hair. So I've got the hair type on my dad's side, but more thinner. My dad's side had thick hair. Okay, thick, wavy. My dad's side have hair like this, but it's thick, very thick hair. Okay, not unusual. I'm a Fleming. I'm not a Rackley. I look like my dad's side, the Fleming side. I don't look like my mum's side, the Purdy side. Something very simple that's been made into a massive, big, ridiculous mental health bullshit in the last 8 years as well. So when I'm out swimming in the ocean and sun tanning and so forth, my hair frizzes up and goes ringlety or wavy. Yeah, so did Dad's, Mark Fleming. And my mum's going to jump into this and say, no, it was her second husband, Mark Rackley, who had curly hair. Really, I'm not even going to, even make comments there, because I'm going to say this. When my mother had her first daughter with Mark Rackley, which was Jade Elizabeth, Jade had blonde ringlet hair. The first thing my mother's mother, my grandmother Lola, said to Carol, my mother, was, Jade has the exact same hair as Neil, my mum's brother who died before my mum was born. So my grandmother Lola was saying, Jade has Purdy hair. Oh, or my nan's side. And Nan stood up and kept saying, Justin, I had ringlet hair before I had kids. I lost all my curls as I had kids. I had curly hair. Your mum's not listening. And I believe my nan because my mum didn't listen. So my nan was saying, my nan's both sons before my mother was born, Michael and Neil, had blonde ringlet hair. That's how their hair was naturally. So my nan was saying that my mother's first daughter, my nan was saying, looks like her side. So Jade Elizabeth apparently looked, and my nan said this today she died, Jade looked like her side of the family. That's who Jade looked like. That's what my nan always said, Jade looked like her side of the family. Faith looks like a Rackley, her father's side. Jade looked like my mother's side, meaning my mother's side of the family. Now, so I'm not going to even entertain my mother's bullshit. My nan already stood up and said, Carol, you've got curly hair on basically her side of the family. Your brothers before you were born had blonde curly hair. My own grandmother told her mother that. Sorry, my mother that, her daughter that. So Carol's just entertaining some bullshit. People listen to ridiculous crap. Fine, go off and listen to ridiculous bullshit, but you've just projected ridiculous bullshit into my life over 8 years, and that ridiculous bullshit has actually cost me money. It's caused me living home environment damage. It's caused me progressive damage, meaning it's affected my career. It's affected what I've studied. It's affected my living home environment, my finances, my assets, every aspect of my entire life. So you haven't just taken on ridiculous information, you've acted and interfered in somebody's life, and you've cost that person, myself, damage, financial, credibility, career, progressive movement forward, loss of income, loss of wage, because you wanted to listen to some manipulating female of a mother or wherever you got your information from that's incorrect, and continually project that into my life over a period of 8 years. That's what makes this a compensation matter. That's exactly what makes this a compensation matter. Whether you like it or not, it's criminal and it's a compensation matter. And that's the only direction any of this should be going. As a legal matter, as a criminal matter for the behavior towards me is criminal, and then the damages. So compensation for those damages.